Have you ever looked at your life, your business, anything you're working on, and just thought, I'm capable of a lot more than this? Why can't I seem to move forward? Maybe you have plenty of ideas, you just struggle to choose which one you want to work on next. Maybe you start projects, you get halfway through and you lose interest, or it becomes too stressful. Maybe you know that you need a stronger online presence, or maybe you need a better offer, or could be that you need to raise your prices just a little bit. You may look at other entrepreneurs and visionaries and wonder why their job or their product or their offer seems to be easier than yours. What if you simply just need space for clarity and support? Well, that's what I want to talk about today. My name is Scott, and I am the founder of the Unveiled Collective. The Unveiled Collective is a community created for LGBTQ entrepreneurs, creatives, service providers, and visionaries who are really ready to reconnect with themselves, gain clarity, build confidence, and take meaningful action toward their goals. This is not about becoming a different person, and this is not about forcing yourself into someone else's view of what your life should look like. It's about uncovering who you truly are and moving forward in that authenticity and that alignment with who you truly are, not who other people want you to be. So the issue for a lot of people tends to be you know what you want or what you want to do, you just feel kind of stuck with the next move. And maybe it's not even that you feel stuck as much as you really just don't trust yourself. If you're anything like me, you feel like, hey, I can see parts of the vision and I know what I think I want to do next. But sometimes when we feel that way, I know for me, when I feel that way, I feel like, well, I need more information. I need to study more, or I need to read up on something or watch another video. A friend once said, Scott, you know enough. You've researched enough. Now just go do. And that was some of the best advice that anybody could have given me, because I did start just trying. And a lot of times, and again, if you're anything like me, it's the doing that is the learning. Does that make sense? Those who do the most learning, right? But we have to be careful because, again, I'm very ADHD myself. So if that kind of fits you, then this will hit hard. But sometimes we get so focused on the process that we don't actually produce anything. We're always trying to make everything perfect, or we think, oh, no one's going to like this. You've just got to hit record on, or if you're doing like videos like me, just hit record. If you are writing a book, start typing, start recording your voice, recording your ideas. You have to start somewhere. And some of us will try to change our message once a month. Well, this message isn't working, so let me change what I'm working on. Nothing happens overnight. People will say your prices are too high. You should charge less so more people can be involved. That can be actually a negative thing. Some people see the lower price and think that the quality isn't there. And if you are afraid to be seen, you'll say, oh, I'm ready, but it's just not perfect yet. And for a lot of LGBTQ entrepreneurs and visionaries, it can be really hard to be seen because some of us have spent part of our lives trying not to be seen, trying to fit in, trying to look normal. And then when we get to a point in our lives where we really want to express ourselves, we don't know who that person is. Some of us learned early in life that this attention can be negative and can be bad. We've learned how to make ourselves smaller. We've learned how to shrink into the corner or sit in the back. We've learned how to read the room from the back of the room, just so no one would see us. We've learned how to hide parts of ourselves to avoid judgment and rejection. And those habits can provide some security and some safety, but they can also be roadblocks when we try to move forward. But this is why business growth is not always just about business. Sometimes it's about our inner work, our inner beliefs, and our inner confidence. Sometimes the biggest challenge is just learning how to love and trust yourself. So when we do our clarity meetings to the Unveiled Collective, we have 3 stages. The first one is deconstruct. Deconstruction is the process of looking honestly at our lives, at our beliefs, at our values, and the patterns that we might still be even unconsciously using that are keeping us stuck. This is not an opportunity for therapy or counseling. This is merely a way to look at your life, a way to reflect. My job in these meetings is to facilitate almost that mirror for you, that mirror for your life, so you can see what it is that you need to work on and allow us, everybody else in the group, everybody else in your collective, to support you in that. It's all about being aware, because you can't change something that you're not aware of, right? Especially if you're ADHD like me and you deal with, I believe it's RSD, rejection sensitivity dysphoria, I think is the actual words for it. But if you're anything like me, that fear of rejection is really significant and it's really, really strong. But when you look deeper into yourself and realize that the issue really is just the fear of rejection. Another challenge can also be that when you look deeper, you just don't trust the value of your work yet. You may say that you are inconsistent with content because you're just too busy. But the real challenge may be that you are unsure about what you want to be known for. A lot of us are like, well, I'm waiting for the best opportunity. I'm waiting for the best outcome. But it doesn't work that way. You have to actually start producing something that you can actually grow from and grow with. Deconstruction. This level asks you to say, what have I been taught about success? What do I believe success actually is? What have I been taught about money? What have I been taught about being visible and being vulnerable? My favorite question is, where am I overthinking? Everyone that knows me knows that I am the world's greatest overthinker. But if you're also a people pleaser, you're not going to do this from your own authenticity. You're going to work and move in an effort to please other people. But once we recognize these patterns and we can decide what it is that we need to do to work on these patterns, then it becomes easier to move forward. The next section of the Unveiled Collective is reveal. Now that we've done some deconstructing and we've done some inner work, we can actually look at ourselves and say, well, now here's how I reveal who I truly am. After removing the noise, the expectations, the limiting beliefs, we can actually reconnect with who we truly are and hear our own voices. The reveal stage is all about clarity, vision, values, confidence, identity. This is when we ask the questions. Who am I now? What do I care about now? What do I want to create? Who do I want to speak to? What kind of impact do I want my work and my legacy to have? What values should guide my decisions? What do I want people to experience when they interact with me or my content or my work or my vision? Your vision really does not need to look like anybody else's. One of the big things that I see a lot is everyone wants to copy someone else, or they want to compare themselves to other people, either in their business, in their lives. Well, I see this person over here doing this like this, and they look successful, so I'm going to just do what they do. The problem with that is when we're out of alignment with who we are and what it is that our souls want to do, it just doesn't kind of work that way. You may achieve it, but you won't enjoy it, or it won't last. The reveal stage actually gives us permission to define success in our own way. A lot of times, a lot of us are told what success should look like. And depending on your family, the culture, or where you grew up, that could look very different. I know people who think that success looks like working for the same company for 30 years, retiring, and then enjoying what little life you have left, at 65 or at the rate we're going, 70. And that's just not what success has to be. One of my favorite exercises that we do within each stage of the 3 stages is an actual values exercise. So I give you a list of values. We pare it down to so many, and then we pare it down again. And then we compare those values to see where they actually fit into our lives, our businesses, our visions, whatever that is. And we see if any of them are actually in conflict with each other. Because sometimes it's those values that are stopping us from moving forward. And that's another part of the reveal stage. The third step in the Unveiled Collective is to activate. This is where clarity becomes movement, where we're actually applying the things that we've learned in the first two stages. Remember, deconstruct and reveal. You can reflect forever, but at some point, we have to take a step. We have to actually do something. We have to give the universe something to work with. Activation could be creating your first offer. Activation could mean adjusting your prices. It could be updating your message in some form or fashion. Something else that someone told me once was you don't always have to pivot. You can just add extra layers to whatever you're doing. Sometimes we think we have to trash everything and start from scratch all over again, and it's just not the truth. It's not the case. It also might mean as introducing yourself as the founder of your business. Remember, hi, I'm Scott. I'm the founder of the Unveiled Collective. It can take a minute to say those things and to actually feel how significant they really are. Sometimes it requires standing in the mirror and saying it over and over again. But this is the activate stage. This is actually putting things into motion. This is where the verbs come in, where we really want to talk about who it is we are and how we take that truth and that authenticity and move forward. It could even mean reaching out to somebody that's in your niche that already has something going and maybe learning from them a little bit, maybe even taking on a little bit of a mentor to say, hey, I just need a little push forward. The lovely thing about activation, the lovely thing about all three steps in the Unveiled Collective is they don't have to be perfect, and you don't have to have every single answer up front. This is a process just like life. Nothing is linear. Everything has cycles. Everything moves. And that's okay, because that is the truth of life. This step should be clear enough to understand, realistic enough to compete or complete, and important enough to move you closer to your vision. Instead of saying, I have to build my entire business first, your next step could actually be, today I'm going to write a clear description of my business and what I'm trying to achieve. And that's all you do in one day. That's okay. All progress is progress. My favorite question from a friend of mine is, did you move the needle today? It doesn't have to be anything great and significant. Did you move the needle today? I'm just going to record a 60-second video of myself and to see how it goes. And then maybe I'll post it. Maybe I'll see how many views I get. Anything along those lines. Do something. But remember that the big wins don't always happen overnight. It's not impossible. But remember to set achievable expectations for yourself up front. With the Unveiled Collective, there's always room for your voice. There's always room for you to speak your truth. So I want to ask you a question. It's very simple. What do you think the next step that you need to take might be? Not the 10 steps after it, not the entire plan, just the next step. Whatever that answer was that came to your mind, write it down. Put it down in black and white. Put it somewhere where you can actually see it. Then step back and ask yourself, what has been keeping me from taking this step? Is it fear? Is it perfectionism? Is it self-sabotage? Am I comparing myself to too many people again? Welcome to the Unveiled Collective. We've got this.